Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Catherine with The Perfect Place to Start, and today I have a mega video for you showcasing 26 of my most favorite patriotic DIYs. So let's jump in. For this DIY, I'm just using some leftover wood blocks from a bathroom remodel that we did. I will list down in the description box the size of the blocks as well as all the supplies for today's video. So I'm using a paintbrush from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to paint on my antique Waverly wax on each side of the block, and then I'm going to take a paper towel, wipe off any of the excess antique wax, and then I'm going to repeat that step for each of the blocks, and then I'm going to set them off to the side to dry. So there are only two steps to this DIY. We're just going to take these stickers that I've had in my stash, and all of today's video was kind of a craft my stash kind of situation here. I just have so much, and I thought I would start to use some of the things that I've had. So these are just some stickers that came from Big Lots, and I think maybe Hobby Lobby. I've perused the stickers selection of Hobby Lobby lately, and they have so many fun like stickers that you could use for DIY, so definitely go check it out and see if you can find some that you might want to put on your blocks. But all I'm going to do is arrange them onto the block. So this one particular sticker set was able to do 2 blocks. I put the flag on one and then Uncle Sam and the stars on the other one. And then the other sticker pack was the one that I got from Big Lots, and it was like $1. And I'm just going to assemble that onto the blocks, and then this DIY is complete.
Come a little closer. I wanna dance with you. Everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Falling in love. You set my wheels in motion. I'm going crazy for you. Eyes blue like the ocean. I can see you want this too. 'Cause you've been looking at me all night trying to figure.
If you are new here, welcome. I'm Catherine with The Perfect Place to Start, and I love to do seasonal decor, Dollar Tree DIYs, home decor, and thrift to treasure. So if that is something you're into, I would love it if you went down, hit the subscribe button, and became a part of my YouTube family. So for this DIY, I'm going to use 3 of the birdhouses that came from the Dollar Tree, and I'm not going to paint the tops of the roofs, but I'm going to paint the rest of the birdhouse. One is going to be blue, one is going to be red, and one is going to be white. And I'll list those paint colors down in the description box. If I can find anything that's similar on Amazon, I will definitely link those links below as well. So once I get them painted, I'm going to cover all of the main parts of the birdhouse and the bottom of the birdhouse. And like I said, one's going to be blue, one's going to be red, and one's going to be white. Once I get those painted, I'm going to take some scrapbook paper that also came from Hobby Lobby. This was in my stash, but I know that they do have a lot of patriotic scrapbook paper that you could choose from. And I'm just going to measure out the size of the roof, and then I glue on each side of the roof a separate piece of paper. And I just used my Elmer's glue stick, and then I went over it with some Mod Podge after I painted. So once I get them glued on, I just kind of go around the trim of the paper with the paint color of the birdhouse. So I wanted it to look like the paper kind of seamlessly went into the birdhouse and not that it was a separate piece. And so I found that going around with it with some of the same paint kind of gives it that kind of fun look. The last step of this DIY is just to add some Spanish moss into each one of the holes, and then this project is complete.
Come a little closer. I wanna dance with you. Everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love.
For this project, we're going to be making one of these stacked books, and I'm just using a crate from the Dollar Tree. I'm painting it with just some blue paint over the entire crate. You guys know I love to do these. I did a few other ones for a lemon and a bee DIY, and I'll list those videos up here in case you want to check them out and in my description box. But I think it's fun to use these crates to make the stacked book look. So once I get it all painted with the blue paint, I'm just going to take these white little letter stickers that also came from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to stick them on. So a tip here, if you're not using like a Cricut or something and you're using stickers, you're going to want to go from the end of the word to the beginning of the word. That way you have it kind of lined up the way that you want. So once I have the stickers on, I take this Dollar Tree ribbon, I wrap it around, and then I'm going to make a little bow. So these are simple bows. I just kind of make it into the shape of the awareness ribbon, and then I fold it over and glue it, and then I glue it on to the top. So to add a little bit of fun detail to this one, I took these tags that came from a free printable from Heidi Sambel's website, and I will list her website down below so you can go pick up the printable as well. I have a few other DIYs that I did with the printable because it comes with quite a few tags that you can use, and so I will link that up here as well as down in my description box, and don't miss out and go check out that free printable. So once I have it cut out, I'm using this fun little punch that also came from Hobby Lobby, and I will put a link down in the description box to this tool, but it just pokes out a tiny little hole so that you can have holes in tags of paper if you don't already have holes there. You can use a hole punch as well if you have a regular hole punch. So then I just take some of this blue buffalo check ribbon that I got at Hobby Lobby, I string it through there, and then I'm going to glue it on top of the bow that I just made to kind of give it the look like it's attached to it. Once I glue it down, I kind of fluff out the ribbons on the side to just make them look like it's like tied on there, and then this project is complete.
wheels in motion. I'm going crazy for you. I feel like the ocean. I can see you want this too. Cause you've been looking at me all night, trying to figure me out. I just wanna let you know. And I ain't playing no games, baby, you won't change. I only want you. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down.
So for this project, we're going to start with this cheese grater that I picked up at Salvation Army for $1, and then we're using one of these Dollar Tree flags that come in the 3-pack, and then I'm so excited to share with you guys today. I'm using a free printable that came from Heidi Samble's website. I will link her website down in my description box along with her YouTube channel, so you can go and check that out, and don't forget to pick up the free printable. So I just cut out 3 of the ones that I wanted to use for this project, and I'm gluing them on to some scrapbook tags that I got at Hobby Lobby just to give it more stability. And then I'm going to take my Antique Waverly wax and I'm going to go over all 3 of the tags with my wax. So I'm creating an aged look with this wax, and if you've ever created Americana style or you just like decorating with it, you know that there is a lot of brown in there or cream in the decor. So you don't want anything that's stark white if that's the way that you're trying to decorate. I used to have a whole house decorated in Americana style, and so I definitely have a love for that kind of brownish red look. So now we're going to take this flag from the Dollar Tree, and all I'm going to do is paint on my Antique Waverly wax. It is a very thin flag, so the wax does like seep through. So if you do recreate this, make sure you have something underneath it just to protect the surface that you're painting on. I am going to paint this whole thing and the flag stem, and then I'm going to set that aside to dry. Once I have that all done, then I go ahead and place the tags onto my cheese grater, and then I took these florals from a garage sale. I paid $0.25 for 2 bundles of them, and they were pretty flowers. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and arrange those into the cheese grater and then stick my flag in, and then this project is complete.
This California weather, it's like 90 degrees. It's making me hot and he has the same effect on me. It's just something about the way that he's making me feel. My insides are out, I just wanna shout his name. My body's giving up on me, cause I don't know what to do with my fingertips. I wanna run up through his hair, but I'm trying not to stare. I get a little starstruck when I see him. I couldn't hate him even if I tried. Am I a little crazy to believe that I could wake up with him by my side? I know I could get his attention if I worked it all out. And we got a little tipsy on a Saturday night. Yeah, I want him and I need him. He's got a one-way ticket to my heart. Ticket to my heart.
So for this project, I'm using a wreath that I picked up at Goodwill for 99 cents, and I'm just going to take all the things off of it. I just want to use the Grapevine wreath section. So then I took one of these Dollar Tree giant flags that they have. These are the ones that can either go on your car or the side of your house. And I did that same technique where I painted it with the Antique Waverly wax. I am telling you guys, this is amazing. I went back and picked up 3 more flags. I have so many ideas for these, and if you are an Americana decorator, this is a must-have DIY. And it's so simple and easy, and you can do so many things with these flags. Guys, this is one of the best DIYs I think I've ever made. I love it, and I just am so excited to decorate it with it. So all I'm doing here is scrunching the flag together, gluing it on the end, and then I flip the other side of the flag over. I'm going to go ahead and glue that onto the Grapevine wreath, and then I do that just to assemble all of the pieces down on top of each other. Once I have that side glued on, then the part that's hanging off over to the other side, I flip that over and I put some more glue onto the Grapevine wreath and glue it there. And then I'm going to go ahead and tuck the tail part of the flag into itself. Originally I was going to cut it, and then I just decided, nah, I'm going to tuck it in. I don't know why. I'm not going to disassemble this, but anyway, if you wanted to cut it off, you could. I just decided to go ahead and tuck it in. So once I have that part assembled, I take some raffia that also came from the Dollar Tree, and I go ahead and cut part of it off. And then I'm going to use some more tags that I got from the Heidi Sambo free printable. Don't miss out on that free printable. Make sure you head over to her website and get it. But I'm going to go ahead. I did that same process. I aged it. I'm going to glue those into the middle. And then I decided that my raffia is a little bit too new looking. So I go ahead and take some antique Waverly wax, paint that on to my raffia, and then this project is complete.
California weather, it's like 90 degrees. It's making me hot and he has the same effect on me. It's just something about the way that he's making me feel. My insides are out, I just wanna shout his name. My body's giving up on me, cause I don't know what to do with my fingertips. I wanna run up through his hair, but I'm trying not to stare. I get a little starstruck when I see him. I couldn't hate him even if I tried. Am I a little crazy to believe that I could wake up with him by my side? I know I could get his attention if I worked it all out. And we got a little tipsy on a Saturday night. Yeah, I want him and I need him. He's got a one-way ticket to my heart. Ticket to my heart. He's got a one-way. Move a little closer without letting him see. My hands are shaking from the...
If you guys are new to my channel or visiting me over from Connie's channel, welcome. I'm Catherine from A Perfect Place to Start. I love to do seasonal decor, Dollar Tree DIYs, thrift to treasure. So if that is something you're into, I would love it if you went down, hit the subscribe button, and became a part of my YouTube family. So for this project, I was lucky enough to pick up these 3 cones that came from a local thrift store in my area, and I'm going to take that antique Waverly wax again, and I'm going to cover all the cones with the wax. I'm even going to go over the pictures because I want everything to have the same even uniformed look. If you're into decorating with Americana, or maybe you're new to it, this antique Waverly wax is going to be your best friend when you're trying to create those looks. It gives you that nice brown look and the stained look that you're going for, and it dries really fast, and it just is one of my most favorite things to use. So I'm taking these stars from Hobby Lobby. They were in the unfinished wood area. I'm just going to paint them red, white, and blue, and then I will link those paints down in the description box. And then you're going to use that antique Waverly wax again, and you're just going to go over what you just painted with the wax and use your paper towel and wipe it off. I did not paint down all the way in the stick because you can't see the bottom, and so I just decided to save myself some time, but you're totally welcome to paint the whole thing if you want to. Then I'm going to put one of the stars in each one of the cones along with some Spanish moss, and I will link some Spanish moss down in the description box from Amazon if you want to go pick it up. And then once I have those all in the cones, I'm going to just tie them together with some twine. They have some metal hooks behind them. I just tie the hooks together, attach some red raffia from the Dollar Tree, and then this project is complete.
It's like 90 degrees, it's making me hot and he has the same effect on me. It's just something about the way that he's making me feel. My insides are out, I just wanna shout his name. My body's giving up on me, cause I don't know what to do with my fingertips. I wanna run up through his hair, but I'm trying not to stare. I get a little starstruck when I see him. I couldn't hate him even if I tried. Am I a little crazy to believe that I could wake up with him by my side? I know I could get his attention if I worked it all out. And we got a little tipsy on a Saturday night. Yeah, I want him and I need him. He's got a one-way ticket to my heart.
So this project is a Pottery barn dupe. I saw this on their website and thought I could totally recreate that with some Dollar Tree supplies. So what I did was I picked up these sort of gingham bags that they have at the Dollar Tree, and I went ahead and I cut out the fronts of the bags and I set those aside, and then we're going to use the backs of the bag to make the pennant banner. So all I did was create my own template using a piece of cardstock. I cut it out and I'm just tracing that around to make the pennant banner. So I cut out about 7 pieces, and I'm just going to go ahead and create them using, like, every other one is going to be stripes and then the other ones will be stars. So once I lay it out, I use my painter's tape and I measure about 1 inch between each of the lines, and I just go down one panel, and then I'm using these Dollar General star stickers, and I'm just measuring again about 1 inch between each one, and then I'm spacing the star stickers out along the sides, or all the way across, I guess, of the banner, and I do that for each of the pieces. Next, I'm going to take some red acrylic paint and I'm just going to paint the one that has the stripes on it. And then I'm going to take some blue acrylic paint and I'm just going to cover the entire panel with the stars with the blue acrylic paint. And then I'm going to let that dry before I remove any of the tape or stickers. So now that all the paint is dry, I'm just going to remove the star stickers, and you will have a really great star shape underneath there. This is a really great hack. If you don't have a Cricut, you can use these stickers and they work like a charm. So here they are all finished. I think they turned out really good. So now we're ready to create the banner itself. All I'm going to do is fold over like about 1/2 inch of the top of the piece, the pennant piece, and I'm just going to leave like a gap in there. I'm going to be using some twine and a paper clip, and I'm just going to attach the paper clip to the end of the piece of twine, and then I'm going to string that through each one of those loops at the top. So when you fold that over at the top, you're going to have like a little piece of the material hanging off. I just took my scissors and cut it flush with the triangle shape so that you wouldn't see that top part. And then you're ready to string your banner. So I'm just using twine that I got at the Dollar General, but you can use any twine or jute rope. You could even use the nautical rope from Dollar Tree to go through and make your banner. It just depends on how sturdy, I guess, you want it to be up at the top. But I just put a paper clip at the end, and I'm just stringing it through this hole and inching it all the way, and I add each one of the pennant pieces onto it, and then this project is complete.
Something about the way that he's making me feel. My insides are out, I just wanna shout his name. My body's giving up on me, cause I don't know what to do with my fingertips. I wanna run up through his hair, but I'm trying not to stare. I get a little starstruck when I see him. I couldn't hate him even if I tried. Am I a little crazy to believe that I could wake up with a...
For this DIY, we're going to take this sign that I picked up at a garage sale, and I'm going to go outside and spray it with some spray paint just to kind of give it a primer to get rid of the lettering. It's less paint and actually quite a bit faster instead of trying to cover it with my chalk paint. Once I bring it back inside, I'm just using some blue acrylic paint. That is the Anita's brand. I believe it came from Hobby Lobby, and it is in the color of blue water. And I just go ahead and use my chippy brush and go over that entire sign with it. And then I'm using the stencil that I also got at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just using my white Waverly chalk paint, and I'm going to stencil all the way up the side of this blue sign. So once I have that one section done, I'm going to move the stencil over, and I wanted you kind of to see, you can kind of see in the video, but I'm going at a diagonal, so I just sort of position the stars into the blank spaces, and then I go ahead and stencil all the way across the sign. Then I take a clothespin that I use that same blue paint, and I glue that into the middle, and I'm using one of these pre-made bows from the Dollar Tree, and it matched the sign perfectly, so I was like kind of excited. And then I'm going to glue that to the top, and then this project is complete. So for this DIY, I am using this basket. I've been holding on to this for a little while now. I picked it up at a garage sale for $3, and I just really love the design of it, and I was trying to save it for something special. I tend to do that. I'm definitely one of those savers. So anyway, I decided to go ahead and use it today. So I just covered it with my white Waverly chalk paint, and I'm just going in an upward motion to get just a little bit of a dry brushing distress look on the wicker. And then I used some floral foam, stuck it in there, and I'm using white, red, and blue carnations from the Dollar Tree. I also decided to go ahead and put some baby's breath in there just to add a little bit of fun. And then I'm going to take this pre-made bow that came from the Dollar Tree as well, and I'm going to glue it to the side. I think I glued it a tiny bit too high here, but I still love how it turned out. So I'm just using hot glue, gluing it to the side, and then this project is complete. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Catherine with A Perfect Place to Start. I love to do seasonal decor, Dollar Tree DIYs, home decor, and thrift to treasure. So if that is something you're into, I would love it if you went down, hit the subscribe button, and became a part of my YouTube family. For this project, we're going to use a sign that I picked up at a garage sale for 50 cents. I am going to go ahead and go outside and use the spray paint and cover it with the spray paint to give it the primer. Then I'm going to use an old book that I had, and I'm just tearing off pieces to cover the entire sign. So I am just tearing lengthwise of the book and fitting it on there, and I do go ahead and use Mod Podge to cover the whole thing, and I do the sides as well. Once I have those Mod Podged on, then I take some more scrap pieces, and I'm using the Blue Water acrylic paint by Anita's again, and I'm just going to go ahead and paint these little pieces. Once I'm done with those, I do take some strips from the book pages again, and I'm going to paint those red to represent the stripes. Now we're ready to kind of assemble these, so we're just going to glue these little scrap pieces up in the corner, and then we'll glue the strips on next to those. And I do leave some of the white in between the red stripes because there's red and white stripes on the black. So once I start to glue the red stripes on and I'm using my Mod Podge on a paintbrush, it starts to smear the red paint a little bit onto the white, but I decided it gives it a little bit more of a vintage feel, so then I decided to go ahead and take that same paintbrush that has the glue in it, and I just go over the entire sign with the glue pinkish color to give it a vintage look over the whole sign. Next, we're going to just add a few stars to the blue part, and then this project is complete. For this project, we're going to be creating a table runner, so I just picked up about 6 placemats from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just using my hot glue gun, and I'm going to glue each of the placemats together to make a table runner. Once we have all of the placemats glued together, I'm taking a couple of those signs from the Dollar Tree, the ones with the wooden stars, and I'm just taking them apart from the burlap piece, and then once I get them off the burlap piece, I'm just going to glue them as red, white, and blue along the table runner, and then this project is complete. For this project, I'm going to be using these foam wands from the Dollar Tree, along with these plastic flags that they have there as well. And I'm going to be using 3 vases from there and one of this USA signs that they also have at the Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to remove the USA pieces from the burlap part that they're attached to, and then I'm going to be gluing those to the front of the vases. So I'm using some burlap ribbon that they have at the Dollar Tree, and all I'm going to do is wrap it around the vase and glue it in the back. And as you can see, I've filled the vases with some of those white rocks that they also have at the Dollar Tree. So I'm just measuring the burlap ribbon, moving it around and gluing it, and then I'm going to use the USA and I'm going to glue each one of those to one of the vases. The last step of this is to add the foam pieces, and then I had taken the rocks out and put them back in because it was just easier, and then this project is complete. So for this project, I took one of those trays from the Dollar Tree and some antique Waverly wax. I covered the whole tray, wiped it off, and then let it sit for a little bit. And you get such a really cool wood look when you use that antique Waverly wax. Then I'm going to take these paper straws and I'm going to create a flag inside of the box. So I'm going to cut the blue straws about halfway, and then I'm going to take the red and white striped straws and I'm just going to put those in for the stripes, and then this project is complete. For this project, I'm just using some leftover wood blocks that I had in my garage, and I'm using some antique Waverly wax, and I'm going to cover them all with the wax and then wipe it off and let it dry. Next, I'm going to use my painter's tape, and I'm just going to put on some lines for some stripes for our flag, and then on the other one I'm going to use some stickers from Dollar General, and I'm going to use those to do the stars. And so as I'm putting the tape down, I'm just measuring with another piece of tape in between there so that I get the same dimensions for each of the lines, and I do the lines on 2 blocks and the stars on 1 block. Next, I'm going to take some blue acrylic paint and I'm going to paint over the stars, and then I'm going to take some red acrylic paint and I'm going to paint over the stripes. We are making these blocks 2-sided, so we're only going to do this on this side, and then we're going to do something different on the other side of the blocks. So for this project, we're going to be using these poster stickers from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to be spelling out USA. Once we get our stickers on our wood blocks, then we're going to paint them red, white, and blue over the top of the stickers using the stickers as a stencil. After I took the stickers up, I decided I didn't really like how just the wood was coming through. You couldn't see the USA very well, so I went over it with some ink by Waverly chalk paint just to fill it in, and then I'm going to go ahead and sand over the top of it to give it a distressed look. Once I have that all completed, then this project is complete.
Without letting him see, my hands are shaking from the urge of being with him. I act a little dumber when I try to get his number. I'm so nervous that I'm losing grip of myself. My body's giving up on me, cause I don't know what to do with my fingertips. I wanna run up through his hair, but don't stare. get a little starstruck.
So I picked this up for $2.99 at the Goodwill, and all I'm going to do is put in some floral foam that I got at the Dollar Tree, and then I'm using Greenery that is from Walmart and the Dollar Tree, and then I'm using some Baby's Breath from the Dollar Tree. So we're going to start by these with these boxwood stems that I got from Walmart, and I'm not going to clip the boxwood stems off. I'm just going to stick the whole bushel into the floral foam. Now I did not glue the floral foam in because in case I want to change this out, or eventually someday maybe I want to use this as a picture, so I did not glue those in. And I'm going to use, I think I use about 4 of these, and all I'm going to do is stick them in the foam and spread them out. Once I get all the boxwood in, then I'm going to go in with the Dollar Tree Greenery, and I did clip the Dollar Tree Greenery apart, and that's where I go and use it as the filler. So one really easy and inexpensive way to make a fuller arrangement is to buy some more expensive greenery or florals and then use the less expensive ones to kind of add or to give it the fuller look, to give it the little fluffies. So I just go around kind of the bottom with the Dollar Tree Greenery, and now we're ready to add the Baby's Breath, and this also came from the Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to go in and randomly place it all around the arrangement, and then this project is complete. So for this project, I'm using one of these apple barrel baskets. This was one that actually was in my yard, but I do see these a lot at garage sales, and I'm just sort of upcycling this one. Mine have seen better days for sure. But I'm going to use some flat spray paint, and I'm just going to cover the entire basket with the spray paint. If you missed my front porch makeover, I used some bigger baskets and did the same thing, so I'll list that here in the cards. But after I get it all painted with my white spray paint, I'm going to use some red acrylic craft paint, and I'm going to be painting every other stripe in the basket. So I'm just going to show you here just a little bit of how I'm skipping or how it's going to turn out. I realized when I was painting here though that my brush was a little bit too big, and I did end up getting some red paint into the white. So it's easily fixable. I would just recommend just maybe a little bit smaller brush. So I go ahead and paint one, then I skip one, and I'm going to do that as I go all around the basket. Once I have the stripes done, then I'm going back in with some blue acrylic paint, and I'm going to do the top and the middle stripe of the basket. So because my basket has some worn and weathered looks to it, I didn't break them off. I just sort of painted them blue and went with the rustic look. If you don't like, the pieces sticking out, you're absolutely welcome to maybe break them off a little bit or clip them so that you don't have any pieces sticking out if you want it to look a little bit nicer. I was okay with the rustic look, I guess. So I just went ahead and painted it. So then I'm going to go ahead and go around both of those stripes, like I said, all around the basket. So once you have the blue painted, you could add stars here if you wanted to. I chose not to. I'm just going to go ahead and go over it with some antique Waverly wax. I do go ahead and show you here in a little bit this basket style 2 ways. So I show you just the basket, just like this with some plants in it, or I do go ahead and add a sparkly bow from the Dollar Tree. I've had some comments before saying, why don't you make your own bows? And I do make my own bows, but sometimes I enjoy the sparkle and shine, especially during the 4th of July season. It reminds me of fireworks and things like that, and so I like that. But if you wanted to add your own ribbon bow here, you could, or no bow at all. I wanted to show you both ways. But once I'm done with this, then this project is complete. So this project is super simple. All we're going to do is take a basket and we're creating a floral arrangement out of the basket. You guys know how much I love baskets. You can find them at any garage sale, any thrift store. You can also get baskets at the Dollar Tree, so they're an inexpensive way to add color and fun to your home without having to spend a lot. So I'm going to go ahead, add this floral foam that came from the Dollar Tree, and I go ahead and cover the entire bottom with it. I then go ahead and add another longer piece on top of this long piece to give it some height. And then I'm going to be using tiger lilies for this arrangement. I bought them at the Dollar Tree and then I wasn't happy with what I had intended to use them for, and so they've just been sitting in my floral stash, but I decided they were white and it would be fun to go with this basket. So I'm using the tiger lilies and some greenery from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go ahead and put them in the basket, and then this project is complete. So this project is inspired by a pin I saw on Pinterest, and so we're going to start out with a Dollar Tree wreath form and some Dollar Tree ribbon, and this is just the plain burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to wrap it around the entire wreath form. It takes me a little over 2 of the spools of ribbon to cover the entire wreath. So once I get the entire wreath covered, then I'm going to take this pre-made bow that also came from the Dollar Tree. It's in the 4th of July area, and I'm just going to glue that to the top of this wreath. Once I have this ribbon, or this bow, sorry, glued to the top, then I'm going to take this star hanger that also came from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to take it apart off of the burlap ribbon that it was hanging on. I do save the burlap ribbon to use as a hanger, as you'll see in a little bit. So once I have those off, I'm going to take some jute twine, and I was going to try and glue the twine to the back of the stars and then tie them onto the wreath. once I had them all glued, and I did put a generous amount of glue onto that twine. I think maybe the twine I was using wasn't thick enough, because when I tried to just tie it onto the wreath, they popped off. So I went ahead and just glued them onto the wreath and then flipped it over and tied them to the back as well. So I don't know if that was a double step there, but I like the idea of tying them on so you could take it off later. But that just wasn't working out for me. So anyway, once I get them all tied on there, then I'm going to take that burlap hanger that they were glued onto originally. I'm going to glue it to the top of the bow so that I have a hanger, and then this project is complete.
This California weather, it's like 90 degrees. It's making me hot and he has the same effect on me. It's just something about the way that he's making me feel. My insides are out, I just wanna shout his name. My body's giving up on me, cause I don't know what to do with my fingertips. I wanna run up through his hair, but I'm trying not to stare. I get a little starstruck when I see him. I couldn't hate him even if I tried. Am I a little crazy to believe that I could wake up with him by my side? I know I could get...
If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Catherine with A Perfect Place to Start, and I love to do seasonal decor, Dollar Tree DIYs, home decor, and thrift to treasure. So if that's something you're into, I would love it if you went down, hit the subscribe button, and became a part of my YouTube family. For this project, we're going to be using 3 of the wooden stars from the Dollar Tree. These are found in the crafter square area. I'm going to go ahead and remove the burlap hanger from them, and then remove the sticker from the back as well. I'm going to be only painting the back sides of these because we're going to be using some scrapbook paper on the front. So I'm taking some red, white, and blue acrylic paint, and I'm going to paint each star with one of the colors. I will leave down in the description box all the supplies I'm using for today's projects if you want to check that out. So after I have those painted, I'm going to take some scrapbook paper that I had in my stash, and I believe all of my paper came from Hobby Lobby. So remember, you can always get, or those are on sale quite often, and you can get them for like $1/4 a piece. So I'm just going to coordinate the papers to go with the colors of the paint, and then I'm just going to use a glue stick. I find that the wood pieces at Dollar Tree work really well with just a regular old glue stick, and then you don't get the bubbling and things from the Mod Podge. So I just go ahead and put a generous amount of the glue stick on the back, and then I'm going to put the paper that I cut out and stick it on there, and I make sure that I rub it really good to get it adhered to it really well, because once we start sanding the sides, we don't want it to pop off. So once I have it glued on there really well, I'm just going to take my sanding block from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go around all of the edges and get off any excess paper that might be still hanging out on the sides of the stars. Once I get that done, I'm going to set these aside, and I do go ahead and glue a dowel to the back of them. They're just the little dowels. I think these came from Walmart, but they also have some at the Dollar Tree. You could use the skewer sticks as well. So then I'm taking a vase that came from the Dollar Tree and some floral foam, and these are the circular ones. I just cut it into 4 pieces, and I'm only using 2 of the pieces. And then I took this like crinkled paper that I found over in the party supply area at Dollar Tree, and I'm stuffing it down in the vase, and I'm covering up the floral foam on all the sides. So I just keep going around to make sure that you can't see any of that greenery part. Then I'm going to take some raffia. I think this raffia came from Walmart, but they also sell raffia at the Dollar Tree. And so I'm just going to tie it into a knot, and then after I get that into a knot, I'm going to tie it into a bow, and then I'm just going to stick it at the very end of the star. So I'm going to do that for each one of the stars to give it more of a farmhouse Americana look. So this is kind of a weird angle, but the last step is just to stick those dowels down into the floral foam, and then you're going to take some more of that crinkle paper, cover up the top, and then this project is complete.
This California weather, it's like 90 degrees. It's making me hot, and he has the same effect on me. It's just something about the way that he's making me feel. My insides are out, I just wanna shout his name. My body's giving up on me, cause I don't know what to do with my fingertips. I wanna run through his hair, but I'm trying not to stare. I get a little starstruck when I see him. I couldn't hate him even if I tried. Am I a little crazy to believe that I could wake up with him by my side? I know I could get his attention if I worked it all out. And we got a little tipsy on a Saturday night. Yeah, I want him and I need.
This project is super simple. All we're doing is taking one of the shadow boxes from the Dollar Tree and removing the little cat head from it, and then I took some acrylic paint and I was painting the inside, and then I just decided to go ahead and take it outside and spray paint it just to go for faster. So you could either do that, or I'm thinking chalk paint would cover this better. I just happened to be using the acrylic paint for the projects today, and so but it doesn't give very good coverage. It'd take a couple more coats of it. So once I have that all completely covered in white, then I'm going to take some twine that came from the Dollar Tree, and I tie a knot on one end, and then I'm kind of measuring to go to the side of the other side of the box. And then once I figure out where I'm going to hang that, I'm going to go ahead and make another knot and then tie it off. So this is going to kind of end up looking like a little bit of a ribbon banner tied into this box. And so once we have that knot tied in there, we'll cut that, and then we're going to start putting ribbon onto the jute twine. So this is just some leftover ribbon I had from the Dollar Tree, but it's their red and white plaid. It usually comes out during Valentine's Day, but I always pick up a whole bunch because I think red and white plaid can be for a lot of different holidays. Valentine's, 4th of July, Christmas, so it happens to be one of my favorite ribbons that they sell there. But if you can't find it there, I will have a link down in the description box to where you can get some on Amazon. So once I have the ribbon placed there, then I'm just going to go ahead and glue the knotted area from one side of the box to the other. So next I'm taking some letter stickers that I got at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to spell out USA. You could use stencils here from Dollar Tree or rub-ons as well if you wanted to. These were just some I had left in my stash. And so I'm just going to put USA here. Once I get the USA on, I decide it's a little plain. I maybe should have painted the outside of this shadow box a different color, but I decided to go ahead and just use an American flag sticker that I had in my stash. This one happens to have like little beads on it. It's really cute, but you could use any kind of sticker there, or a rub-on or anything, or you could paint it. This is definitely one of those customizable DIYs that you could make to look however you chose. And then once I have that there, then this project is complete.
This California weather, it's like 90 degrees. It's making me hot, and he has the same effect on me. It's just something about the way that he's making me feel. My insides are out, I just wanna shout his name.
For this project, we're going to be using an Easter sign that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I just covered the side that had the wording on it with some of the craft paper that I also got at the Dollar Tree. I just like to do that. It takes up less time than painting. And then I'm going to take my white Waverly chalk paint, and I'm going to cover all of the other side that we're going to be using, and I just used one coat. And then I'm using my antique Waverly wax, and I'm just going to go over the entire sign with my chippy brush to give it the antique look. Once I have it all covered, I'm going to take these burlap stars that I picked up at a garage sale. I think they were labeled as Christmas decorations, but I'm just going to lay 3 of them out on the sign. They do have some little like hangy tag things on them, like they're a Christmas tree ornament, but I'm just going to cut those off, and then I'm going to use some hot glue and I'm going to glue them onto our sign. Next, I'm going to take some ribbon. Some of it's from the Dollar Tree, some of it's from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to be kind of giving like an interpretation of the flag down below with these ribbons. So the blue, red, and white is going to represent the blue part of the flag, and then I'm going to interchange the white and red to represent the stripes. And I'm just going to go ahead and lay them out here in the back, and then once I have them in the places that I want them to be in, I'm going to glue them down. I'll go ahead and put all the supplies I'm using for the projects today down in my description box, and if I can find something that is similar on Amazon, I will go ahead and link that there so you can check it out if you are interested. Now I'm ready to add the hanger. I'm just using some jute twine from the Dollar Tree and some hot glue, and I just go ahead and glue it in a V shape, and then once I have it kind of in the corners where I want it to go and I feel like it's even, then I go back with some more hot glue and glue over the whole length of that, and then I just add some masking tape to give it an extra hold, and then this project is complete.
Queen of Hearts. When everyone folds, your fork still holds your place in your bed, showing no regret. Close your eyes to hide your lies, roll the dice. You got me tiptoeing around you like you're made of glass. Got an invincible.
For this project, I'm going to take a Dollar Tree sign that was an Easter sign from this year, and I just removed the galvanized bunny, and then I went outside and spray painted it with my Rust-Oleum spray paint and satin. I did go ahead and do both sides just to have a finished back, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my antique Waverly wax and I'm going to go over the entire front with my chippy brush to give it the antique look. So I'm using an old pocket from an old pair of shorts that belonged to my husband, and I just cut it out and I'm using the pocket part and I glued it onto the sign, and then I'm using some red buffalo check ribbon from the Dollar Tree and some white ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just gluing it on with some hot glue to represent the stripes of the flag. I'm going to take some of the same ribbons that we're using in the project today, and I'm going to make a messy bow. So I'm using the red and white buffalo check, and then I'm going to add some blue and white buffalo check, and then I'm going to use some twine, tie it off in the middle, and then I like to finish these bows off with a piece of ribbon down the middle. I think it gives it a much more high-end look, but that's totally up to you if you'd rather leave the burlap there. I'm going to go ahead and glue it at the top, and then I do go ahead and dovetail off camera all of the ribbons in this bow. I decide that the blue pocket needs some dimension, so I take some of the blue and white buffalo check and I'm just going to glue it all around the outside of the pocket. I'm sorry for the slightly weird angles in this video today. I moved my tripod without realizing it, and then once I went to edit the video, I realized that some of the project is in like weird parts of the frame. So I think I have that fixed for next time though. If you're going to recreate this, you could totally stop here. I think it looks super cute. I just decided to add one more piece of ribbon to give it a more finished look on the end. I don't know. You let me know down in the comments. Do you think it needed the piece of ribbon on the end, or should I have left it just like this? I think it looks cute either way, so I am okay with having the ribbon there, but you guys let me know. Do you think that it was needed or necessary? Once this part's glued on there, then this project is complete.
You got me tiptoeing around you like you made of glass. Got an invincible fence letting everyone know not to trespass. But you're bound to break down, bound to lose, bound to get knocked right out of your boots when I use my witchcraft. You're playing it cool, bending all the rules, talking way too loud, and you're talking rude. You're playing a game, driving me insane. Your heart is back, and it's a fact, no turning back. You got me tiptoeing around you like you made of glass. Got an invincible fence.
If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Catherine with The Perfect Place to Start. I love to do seasonal decor, Dollar Tree DIYs, home decor, and thrift to treasure, so if that is something you're into, I would love it if you went down, hit the subscribe button, and became a part of my YouTube family. So for this project, I'm using a dowel that I got at Hobby Lobby and just some various ribbons from Hobby Lobby and Dollar Tree, and I just tied some twine from the Dollar Tree on both ends to give it the hanger, and now I'm just looping around this blue ribbon to start the blue part of the flag. I don't show you myself gluing all the ribbons on here, I just kind of show you this blue part, but I am going to go back and forth between red and white at the end using the same technique. So I just glue and then wrap around so that the whole dowel is covered, and then it's still giving it the flowy look on the bottom. Once I get all of the ribbons glued onto this dowel, then this project is complete.
Queen of Hearts. When everyone folds, your fork still holds your place in your bed.
I'm going to be using a piece of burlap that was gifted to me from a friend, and I'm just going to start by taping it off with some painter's tape. So as I'm showing you in the video, it has been folded up, and so it's neatly has each of these little squares. I just took one of the folded squares and used the tape and taped around the folded square. So once I have it taped off, I'm going to start painting with my blue paint, and all this down in the description box, all of the paint colors and supplies that I use for today's video. If you don't have a piece of burlap hanging around, you could go to Hobby Lobby, and they do sell it by the roll, so you could get whatever desired size you're looking for. So I'm just going to cover this entire square with my blue paint, and then I'm going to let it dry a little bit before I do the next step. So I am using a foam brush today, and I'm not a huge fan of foam brushes. In fact, I don't hardly ever use them, but I had a stack of them, and so I just decided to go ahead and use them for this project. I was having to figure out what was the best method to get the paint on. I tried dabbing and I tried rubbing. I felt like maybe a combination of both really ended up being the best way to get the paint on there. So then I'm taking a star stencil and some Cashew Waverly chalk paint, and I'm just using another of those smaller foam brushes, and I'm just going to go over that entire blue square with the star stencil and the cashew paint. So once I have my square completed, now I'm ready to put in the stripes, and so I'm using basically the same method, another foam brush, and I'm just going to use some red paint. These are all, the cashew is chalk paint, the rest was acrylic paint. So I'm just going to be dabbing and swiping. I found that using the flat part of the foam brush to get it onto the stripes worked a lot better. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill these in, and then we'll move on to the next part of the project. So now that the flag is painted and dried, I'm just going to take one of those fence post stakes that I love so much that I pick up at Home Depot. I'm using my staple gun. I'm going to staple it onto the post, and then this project is complete.
This California weather, it's like 90 degrees. It's making me hot, and he has the same effect on me. It's just something about the way that he's making me feel. My insides are out, I just wanna shout his name. My body's giving up on me, 'cause I don't know what to do with my fingertips. I wanna run through his hair, but I'm trying not to stare. I get a little starstruck when I see him. I couldn't hate him even if I tried. Am I a little crazy to believe that I could wake up with him by my side? I know I could get his attention if I worked it all out. And we got a little tipsy on a Saturday night. Yeah, I want him and I need him. He's got a one.
For this project, we're going to be using a wood round that I got from a garage sale. It looks like someone hand made this wood round out of wood planks. I'm going to take it and sand it down so that I have a more unified look. There is some gaps in between each of the wood pieces. So next I'm going to be creating my own stain. So I'm using some red, some white, some blue acrylic paint, and then I'm going to use a truffle brown chalk paint in some water to cover another part of our project. So all I do is I don't even measure out water to paint. I just sort of put water in a cup, put the paint in there, mix it up, and then I go from there. If I feel like it's not painty enough, or I add some more paint, or if I have too much paint in there, then I just add a little bit more water. So now I'm ready to paint on our stain to the wood sign, and I'm going to go I'm going to go red and then white, red and then white. And I really, really love how this ends up looking with the red stain on the wood, because after I sanded it, a lot of the wood grain from each of the pieces came out, and it just looks amazing. So I'm just going to do those. In this, you're going to see that I painted the very last one blue. I ended up really not liking that, and so I go ahead and go back over it and fix it to just be red. Once I get that all painted, I'm going to take this cutout that I got from the Dollar Tree. It's one of those United States Color the State cutouts that they have in the wood pieces. I covered it with the truffle brown chalk paint, and then I'm covering it with the white acrylic paint using my chippy brush, and then I'm going to use some blue acrylic paint and another chippy brush, and I'm going to go over the white part with the blue paint. Once I get that all done, I'm going to take one of those little sticky stencils that I got from Walmart, and I'm going to place it over where New Mexico would be, and I'm going to paint a little red heart there since that is where I'm from. Once I have all of the United States done, I'm just going to glue it into the middle of the wood round, and then this project is complete.
This California California weather, it's like 90 degrees. It's making me hot and he has the same effect on me. It's just something about the way that he's making me feel. My insides are out, I just wanna shout his name. My body's giving up on me, cause I don't know what to do with my fingertips. I wanna run up through his hair, but I'm trying not to stare. I get a little starstruck when I see him. I couldn't hate him even if I tried. Am I a little crazy to believe that I could wake up with him by my side? I know I could get his attention if I worked it all out. And we got a little tipsy on a Saturday night. Yeah, I want him and I need him. He's got a one-way ticket to my heart. Ticket to my heart. He's got a one-way. Move a little closer without letting him.
If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Catherine with A Perfect Place to Start, and I love to do seasonal decor, Dollar Tree DIYs, home decor, and thrift to treasure. So if that is something you're into, I would love it if you went down, hit the subscribe button, and became a part of my YouTube family. For this project, we're going to be using some metal stars that I got at a garage sale. They came in a bag full of stars and metal bells. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the bells, but today we're going to use some of the stars. And I'm using some more of these wood planks. I just love working with these. I get them at Home Depot. They come in a package of fence posts. These happen to be some that had the tops cut off already because I used them in another project, and I will list that video here so you can see what I did with them. And I'll also list a couple other videos down in my description box where I used these wood planks. So I'm using some wood glue here. I'm just going to stack them on top of each other with my wood glue and set it aside to dry for a couple hours. You can use clamps if you want to, and I have in a few other projects, but for this they're just going to glue together into like my own wood pallet type sign. So I just set them aside and let them glue there. If you want to work with it sooner, you can always put a little bit of hot glue in there and with your wood glue, and then that'll give you a more permanent hold later. So then I'm going to take some Cashew Waverly chalk paint, just going over it with my chippy brush. I go over the entire wood sign that we made, and then I'm going to just glue these metal stars onto the front, and then this project is complete.
This California weather, it's like 90 degrees. It's making me hot and he has the same effect on me. It's just something about the way that he's making me feel. My insides are out, I just wanna shout his name. My body's giving up on me, cause I don't know what to do with my fingertips. I wanna run up through his hair, but I'm trying not to stare. I get a little starstruck when I see him. I couldn't hate him even if I tried. Am I a little crazy to believe that I could wake up with him by my side? I know I could get his attention if I worked it all out. And we got a little tipsy on.
If you made it this far, thank you so much for sticking with me. As always, wherever you are in your journey is a perfect place to start, and I will see you guys in the next video.